So it is happening in Gemini. And here are the things that we need to consider. We are going to be dealing with major flow of information, major inspiration, I want to say downloads where you are like, you can't help it. You got to stop the conversation, or you got to stop what you're doing and put it down because you have to get this out. You have to write it down so you don't forget it. It's a compulsion, right? There's going to be a lot of that. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your new moon musings for the new moon that is happening on November 19th of this month. And it is a Scorpio new moon. It's happening on 11:48 p.m. Eastern Standard, which is, I believe, 4:48 a.m. UTC time. If I'm getting my timings all correct, please forgive me if I'm a little off on that. Timing eludes me. And this is going to be a really powerful new moon cycle for all of us. And I'm going to switch things up and do things a little bit differently, and I'll explain that in a second. But it's a very powerful new moon for all of us because we are coming to the end of this year. And while this new moon cycle doesn't actually officially take us out of 2025, it is the final new moon cycle of 2025. And as a result of that, I've decided to pull cards. Instead of doing tarot this cycle, we're going to do Oracle. And I'm going to pull cards from the Enchanted Map Oracle from Colette Baron Reed, an oldie but a goodie. And I chose this because this particular new moon that happens to be in Scorpio is all about planning for the next 6 months. Setting new patterns, evaluating different cycles, and revamping things so that the plan that you have moving forward is one that's really going to keep you aligned with where you actually want to be. And so I felt that that switch would be called for. For those of you who are new to me, please make sure that you stay to the end of this video where I do a short 1-minute explanation on how to make this reading work for you. And for everyone else who is joining me, including the new people, welcome. So happy to have you guys here, and really excited to dive on in. So let's get to it. We are tapping in right now, and we are going to pull a release card for this, what we are releasing from the previous cycle. And, when we're talking about that Scorpio new moon energy, we are in Scorpio for a short period of time, and then we are moving right into Sagittarius energy. But I feel like it's important to kind of connect to that Scorpionic energy because there's going to be a lot of emotional deep dive on the new moon. New moon is a great time for manifesting, for really getting clear on what it is that you want to bring forward. But it is going to be focusing on how you're transforming your relationships, how you are, or how you have been transforming your relationships, recognizing those deeper patterns and cycles. We could call them wounds, but it's not always a wound, that need to be evaluated, because as you move into 2026, it needs to be kind of a fresh start. So 2026 is an 8 year. And when we are talking about that numerology of 8, it is a year of mastery and abundance. 2025 has been a 9 year, sorry, it's a 9 year. And things have been wrapping up, ending, concluding. And because this is the last full new moon cycle in this year, it's important that we wrap that up. We connect to those patterns and cycles that are no longer serving us so that we can tweak them or break out of them entirely and build a new plan. It's all about the transformation. And when we do this work in this new moon energy, what is going to transpire for us as we move into Sagittarius season is now there is absolute freedom to be able to move forward, to try new things, to throw some new things on for size. And that's going to be really huge. So our release card for this new moon cycle is making a choice. And what I'm really feeling called to here when we're looking at this card is that this past new moon cycle, there have been a lot of choices to be made. There's been a lot that we've had to look at. And, you know, I see this card very similarly to the Two of Swords in the Tarot. And I see that card as being the card that says you've got a choice between shit sandwich A and shit sandwich B. Neither choice is ideal, but in order to move forward, you got to make a choice. You know, take your lumps and get on the other side, because then you can really move forward. And so yay to this being something that we are releasing, that we're no longer having to do that. We've had to swallow some difficult pills. It's not been an easy road. It's not been an easy year for any of us. You know, collectively as well as individually, there have been many unexpected challenges. There's been a lot of, I have no idea where to go. A lot of this. So let's celebrate the fact that this is what we're releasing. Oh, I'm really excited about that. And let's tap into our soul card. So the soul card is what is the collective learning and growth for this new moon cycle that we're entering in. And I always like looking at this card in particular. Okay, we've got two messages. Because yes, it is the collective soul learning and growth and how we're playing a part in it, but it's also giving us as an individual, on an individual level, choice on how we wish to show up and contribute. So that's why that's really important. Heal the ouch and dry desert. Interesting. So from that soul perspective, we are really going to be in a space of recognizing, okay, we've been through some hell. The heightened chaos is, you know, maybe dissipating a little bit. And now we actually have the time, the energy, the space to be able to heal ourselves, to heal one another, to provide support and comfort and compassion to one another, understanding that we are coming out of an absolutely dry desert. And that dry desert can feel really barren, feel really overwhelming, you know, looking for the mirage, looking for the saving grace, what's the next path. But I feel that in that dry desert, what we're looking at with all of that sand is really we're looking at a blank slate. And when we heal the ouch, then we have space to actually be able to look at what is it that we'd like to build, or what is it that we need. You know, when we're talking about that dry desert and the mirage, if you're seeing the mirage, what it really means is you need water, you need sustenance, you need nourishment. You need to feel what you feel. You need to connect to not only your feelings, but connect to the psychic component of things. What have you learned psychically from this particular cycle that we've all been in? You know, you as an individual have had your own experience with that. So it's important to tap into that in order to be able to step into how you're going to be a contributing member of society to others, as we are all healing the ouch and trying to make a new way forward. Not quite sure what that's all going to look like, but that's what we are facing. How do we bring the water to the desert? How do we find our footing in the sand? And it can happen. It can absolutely happen. And it's going to create innovation. You know, it's going to mean that we are needing to expand out of what we have known and what we have leaned on for some time, and encourages us to think outside the box in a really big way, and to think really big. Not just what do I need 6 months from now, because that's kind of how we've been feeling, but looking now at what do I need 3 years down the road? What do I need 5 years down the road? Because that is going to inform my choices and my decisions now. Ooh, I like that. Okay, now we are at our new moon. And as I said, the new moon is happening at 11:48 p.m. Eastern Standard. And I think I said that was 4:38 a.m. UTC time. So let's see what is coming up for us where this is concerned. And this is going to be kind of taking place from November 19th to the 23rd. And this is I Manifest. So what energies are here to support my manifesting? How can I lean into their wisdom? Interesting. You've got goblins. So in order to manifest, you have to be very clear about what are your obstacles. What are the things that are getting in your way? What are the undone things on your to-do list that keep sucking the energy and the life out of you in it's like a slow leak in the tire, and you keep going to, the gas station to top up. But really what you need to do is just get the tire repaired or replace the tire altogether. But you just keep putting it off and putting it off. And what happens is it's always in the back of your mind, that tire could blow at any minute. Oh yeah, I got to get that tire thing done. It takes up time and space. So I feel like in order to really manifest, you need to deal with the goblins. You need to deal with those things that maybe you have put on the back burner for some time. And said, okay, I won't think about that today. I'll think about that tomorrow. Or that's not my priority. Or I'd rather gnaw off my left arm than deal with it. Gnaw off your left arm then. Or just go and deal with it, because it's going to deal with you otherwise. And I feel like that's a really important message. When we are talking about the energies that are here to support your manifesting, I feel like these goblins are coming up and making themselves known and wreaking havoc in your life to point themselves out to you so that you have no choice but to deal with them, because they don't want to be having to wreak havoc in your life. They want to be released so they can go and do something else, so that they can help someone else to release what needs to be released so that they can reach their highest, fullest potential. And that's really what's happening here. So when we're talking about that new moon and that I manifest, what I'm really feeling here is you can't manifest unless you deal with these small, pain in the ass, niggling things that are on the to-do list. This can be head related, heart related, soul related. This can be your finances. This can be a conversation that you need to have with a friend or a family member or a coworker. I mean, whatever it is. No, you don't like to deal with it. Just deal with it. What pops into my head all the time is I get so irritated to the point where there's like PTSD sometimes around having to deal, like anything that comes up with the bank, someone like getting my number and having to change all my information, or having like a charge that I have to dispute. All of that stuff makes me so stressed out that I would literally rather gnaw off my left arm than deal with it. And I mean, I have my fabulous assistant, Mary Ann, who handles a lot of things for me, so that I've taken a lot of that off my plate, and I feel so much more balanced and content with that. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with me, and there are certain things that I just have to do for myself. It's those kinds of things that I feel like when you just keep putting it off, it's going to eat away at you. This new moon is the time to work through that, because if you don't, you can't manifest. Everything's going to go to shit. And I don't mean like, dun, 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 do it or else. It's just, everything's going to go to shit because that's showing up in your life and in your world right now because it needs to go. So listen to that. Pay attention to those weird, niggling, pain in the ass things that are coming up, and address them. Even if you got to take a half day off of work to address it, because you'll feel better. You get your energy back. And that's where you're going to be able to manifest from. All right, we are at our Waxing Crescent card. I plan. What do I need to consider when creating my plan for the cycle? Any challenges or opportunities to be aware of? This is happening November 24th through to the 27th. Field of Dreams. Oh, I love this. So look at all of these beautiful fairies that have been hatched. These are the beautiful ideas that you've had, the inspirations, all of the seeds that you planted that you've been nurturing. They are having that breakthrough moment now. They are coming to life. It is your field of dreams. Of course, I think of the movie, If You Build It, He Will Come, right? That field of dreams energy. So when we're talking about the Waxing Crescent, I plan. You need to plan for the fact that these things are going to be in your now. And yeah, maybe there's a little bit of unexpected, maybe that idea that you thought wasn't going to come to fruition, or that thing that you put on hold, because you figured, okay, I've got another couple of weeks. Well, now you don't. It's happening now, and you've got a choice to make. Celebrate it. Don't dwell on it or feel bad about it or hem and haw about it. Celebrate it and say, okay, this is happening because I'm worthy and deserving of it. This is all happening right now because I'm ready for this. It would not show up in my life and in my path if I wasn't ready for it, if it wasn't meant to be for me at this time. Also, when we're talking about this I plan and what you need to consider, you know, whenever we have a breakthrough, whenever things come to fruition like this, perfect example, the egg gets broken through, but then there's eggshell. Then there's broken pieces, broken bits. There's a bit of a mess to clean up in order to, I want to say, have that clean, clear foundation. And I feel like with this field of dreams, if you build it, he will come, you have to also create the space for it. You know, I use this analogy a lot with individuals who are seeking relationship. And I say, okay, so you have to live it as though it's already in existence. It's already in your now. So do you have a bedside table on the other side of your bed for your potential partner? Is the drawer empty? You know, have you created space for that person? Do you have a space in your closet for them to hang some of their clothes? You know, do you have a drawer in your bathroom where they can, you know, keep a toothbrush? Maybe you have a spare toothbrush for them, right? Maybe you purchase a coffee mug in advance as part of your manifesting. And when you pour yourself a cup of coffee, you pour a little coffee in that mug as well, and you let it sit on the counter, because that's the mug for your future partner. But you're living it as though it's happening now. I feel like that's what this field of dreams is about. As you're planning, you need to put into practice certain plans, certain patterns. We were talking about plans and patterns with Scorpio. You need to put some of that into practice as well to let the universe know that, yeah, this is what I'm manifesting, and I'm prepared. I'm ready for all of this that's coming up. I'm happy. I'm celebrating that it's here now. So let me lean into that. Let me clear out the clutter. Let me make sure that all of those broken eggshells are being composted. They're moved out of the way so that we can have, you know, a clear place for us to manifest, to grow, to become. That feels really important. Okay, and now we are at our first quarter. I act. What energy fuels my motivation? How can I collaborate with source energy to empower my actions? This is happening on November 28th to the 30th. Interesting. Stuck in the mud. So what's fueling you, is the obstacles that have been in your way for a long time. And I almost feel like a collective, I don't care anymore. I'm pushing through. Like, I'm not going to let this deter me. I'm refusing to accept that I'm stuck. I'm refusing to accept that there is no other option. Now, for those of you who are in a Phoenix growing phase about certain things, I would advise that this stuck in the mud is not something you need to push through. If you're in a Phoenix growing phase, that means you're in a space of receiving, that there isn't going to be a lot that's coming your way. You're going to feel frustrated that things aren't coming your way, but it's because you're needing to take that rest and that reflection and that relaxation. You're here to learn how to receive and how to be. And when the universe is ready to have you move forward, you will know it. You know, there will be that opportunity to show up. But for those of you, for the rest of you where that doesn't apply, this is definitely that stuck in the mud energy is acknowledging I'm tired of being stuck in this mud. I'm done with it. I understand that it's not serving a purpose, that in fact I'm getting in my own way. And so now I am determined to say, come hell or high water, I'm choosing me, or I'm facing the fear that has been holding me back, or I'm dealing with the goblins that have been keeping me from really leaning in to the thing that I know I want to be doing, but I'm a little nervous about it, or I'm scared about it, or it feels daunting. You know, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, and so that's what's causing me. This, I feel, when you work together with someone else to help you move through that mud and to get out of it, there is harmony, there is synergy in that. And when we're talking about this as that first quarter and the I act, I feel like the first act you want to take is to call in a processor or a person that you trust, someone that you can say, I need some help. Help me to walk through this, or help me to understand this. You know, let me share with you what's going on. And then maybe the two of us together, we can brainstorm the best way for me to be able to help myself to get out of this. And yeah, someone can, like, you know, hold out their arm and help pull you out. But ultimately, I feel like this is about you having to make the choice to get unstuck. And it can't be someone doing it for you. It's got to be you doing it. They can assist you. They can absolutely assist and help you out, but they can't do it for you. And I feel like that's really important. Also, I mean, I just love the elephant, right? I mean, the elephant is just so beautiful. And it's, I feel like, you know, we always think of memory and remembering things and that type of situation with elephants. I feel that there is a remembering of your own power that wants to come up, acting on your own power, acting on that energy so that you can feel a little more confident in the direction that you're choosing to take. You know, that breakthrough has already happened. These beautiful seeds that you've planted are now coming to pass, and you're actually doing things with it. So don't get in your own way about it. Be in flow. Remember who you are. All right, now we are at our waxing gibbous. I choose. What energy can I lean into for confidence as I discern my commitments? And we are here at December 1st through to the 3rd. So happy December. And I should have said it a little while back. Happy birthday to the Sagittarians. We have Magic Prayer, 32. It's another 5. So goblins were 5, and now we have another 5 that's coming up. Change, shift, transformation. So it's a nod to the Scorpio, which is all about the transformation. We started off in New Moon in Scorpio with a 5, acknowledging that transformation. Now we have the 32, which I want to say is a slightly less potent energy of transformation, but still transformation nonetheless. So when we're talking about that magic prayer, and we're talking about the I choose, this is the manifestation. If you've done the work to acknowledge the goblins, to give them something else to do, to release them, you are focused on that transformational energy, clearing up the eggshells, making the room and the space, determined to not get in your own way and to face all of that. Now the way is clear for you to own what it is that you're asking for, or to own what it is that is being brought to you. Because I do feel that for each of you, there's going to be something tangible, that an opportunity that is being brought to you, and you're going to be like, holy shitballs, yeah, this is the thing. You want to be able to say yes to it. You want to be able to say yes to it with abandon. And that's where that magic prayer comes into the mix. And I feel like, again, talking about that elephant, remembering who you are, remembering your power. The magic prayer comes from you. It's not the universe giving you stuff, granting you stuff. It's you're getting it because you asked for it. You put that into power. You put that into motion. So that magic prayer, I feel, is coming up to say it's going to be here for you. Like the results of it are here for you. Are you going to acknowledge it? What are you going to do with that power? You know, what do they say? The meditation is the ask, or the prayer is the ask, and the meditation is the answer. That's what it is. The prayer is the ask, and meditation is the answer. I feel like less so about meditation and more so about getting still so that you can have the space to listen to that psychic part of you. Listen for the messages from your angels and guides. The I choose. It's choosing to use your power. It's choosing to acknowledge. When we say, what energy can I lean into for confidence? Lean into your power, because it's like you've gotten your power back. Like it never went away, but we are so good at compartmentalizing or dissociating from the reality of who we are and what we have to offer. We conveniently forget. We forget lessons we've learned a lot of times, which is why we have to go back around again, right? So this magic prayer is coming up to say, choose your own power. It's there within you. Don't let it pass you by. Don't forget why it's there in the first place. I'm also feeling this December 1st through the 3rd energy is also going to be kind of enlightening for a lot of people. a lot of clarity, a lot of that aha about things that maybe have confounded you for some time. And when you get that clarity, what I keep hearing is you need to act on it right away. Like again, don't let it pass you by. Don't sit on it. Don't second guess it or doubt it. You need to act on it right away. Even if it comes in the form of like an intuition. Sometimes, with an intuition, it's important to sit and feel into a little bit more, let it expand. No, not this time. Act on it, because I feel like it is going to be a deep clarity, and you're going to feel it in your whole being. It's like chills all over the whole body is the validation of it. So really pay attention to that. Okay, now we are at our full moon. And so let's talk a little bit about the full moon. The full moon is happening on the 4th of December. It's happening at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard, which is going to be 9:15 p.m. UTC, I think, if I'm doing the math in my head right now. I'm Arizona time, so Arizona is the only state where we don't change for daylight savings. So it just, like, I'm happy about it, but it also complicates everything given that I work with people in every time zone. So it can just, it just messes with my head all the time, math. But let's talk about it. So it is happening in Gemini. And here are the things that we need to consider. We are going to be dealing with major flow of information, major inspiration, major, I want to say downloads, where you are like, you can't help it. You got to stop the conversation, or you got to stop what you're doing and put it down, because you have to get this out. You have to write it down so you don't forget it. It's a compulsion, right? There's going to be a lot of that. Really a lot of focus on social connections, social interactions with others that have meaning to you, that feel really good to you. And the other thing that kind of came up on an intuitive level for me is how to feel more connected to others. So yes, it's social connections, but I feel like that's separate from this thought that came through. How to feel more connected to the world, connected to the people that you are interacting with. We often go through the motions. We often can be kind of like on autopilot about a lot of things, because life can be hard, and we step outside of presence, and we get into the to-do list and the 3D of everything, and that can cause us to feel disconnected, because then we're just like a robot. We're an automaton, just getting shit done for the sake of getting it done. But there, where's the meaning in it all? And when we feel disconnected from one another, we really lose our sense of purpose. We lose our sense of self. What does it all mean? Why am I here? And so I feel like this is something that the full moon energy is going to be bringing up for us in that Gemini way. Gemini is an air sign, so we're all, thinking. We're in our heads. There's great inspiration, great psychic energy that's coming through, intuitional energy that's coming through, and you gotta get it out, right? You gotta get it out. So don't hold back. Journal, talk to people, share your ideas, get those feelings out, because other people are going to be appreciating what it is that you're bringing to the table and what it is that you have to offer. Okay, so full moon, 4th to the 7th, I receive. How can I best open to the energies of this full moon to receive clarity, guidance, or direction? What gift does this full moon offer to me now? The Bone Collector. So it's a number 1. New beginnings, fresh starts. The Bone Collector, to me, always kind of symbolizes or represents the recognition that all good things come to an end. That you collect the bones because the old version, the old life, the old flesh that was on those bones, the consciousness that was connected to those bones is no longer connected to those bones. And now we can put those, the past, we can put those to good use, to better use. Bury them, grind them up, and use them in a different way. Repurpose. Everything is about repurposing. Everything gets recycled. And I feel like when we're talking about the I receive energy, and that clarity and guidance, I feel like what's really coming up, especially around that making connections, is what is it that in terms of stories that you tell yourself? What things do you cling to from a belief perspective that may be causing you to have distance between you and another person or other people, where you're desperately seeking that connection, and maybe those beliefs are subconsciously or otherwise getting in your way? You want to be able to receive connection, and you have to have a clean slate. So I come back to the field of dreams, right? You have to clear out the eggshells to make space for, what is to come into the mix. The eggshell served its purpose in the form that it was in, but now it's time for something else and something new. Bone Collector is coming in to say, let me take those eggshells. Let me repurpose it for you. I'm going to turn it into something that is more aligned with where you're going and growing. And I'm going to do it out of the goodness of my heart, because that's who I am and that's what I do. So this is going to be a time, I feel, when, as you're expressing things from that Gemini perspective and you're sharing those things, others are going to really be grateful for what you're sharing. But you also need to be listening to other people, because they're going to be offering and sharing things to you that you're going to be very grateful about, because it's a time of repurposing, taking the other stuff that you no longer need. It's no longer serving you in the form that it's in, and you're repurposing it. And this isn't necessarily like overly intentional, and it's not a deep dive. It's more of a allowing things to happen, allowing things to be a little more organic in the way that they are moving through you, that they are moving out of your life, or that they are being reshaped and remolded and reformed to be able to line up with what it is that you're actually creating. So for some of you, there is going to be a lot of I'm going to say a lot of reflection upon what is leaving, reflection upon, the death of a dream, the death of a version of yourself, things that didn't come to pass. And I don't feel that this is in a dark, deep, depressing way. We're not in Scorpio, so this isn't that deep dive into all of this. It's more of a thoughtful reflection of it, like thoughtfully reflecting on, I get now why that occurred. And I'm grateful for it, because it has now freed me up to move ahead into all of this. For some of you that have been looking for work, looking for a change of pace in your job, I feel like this is also going to be a time when you're going to be receiving a lot of opportunity. People reaching out to you in random ways to say, hey, there's a job at my place that I think you would be amazing for. I talked to my boss, let me know if you're interested. I'd love to, put your name in. Throw your hat in the ring kind of thing. People seeking you out because they're inviting you to apply for something, new projects becoming available, and people seeking your talents out for that particular event or situation. So be open to that as well. Wow, a lot happening on this full moon. All right, now we are at our disseminating moon, which is happening on December 8th through the 10th. And this is I acknowledge. How best can I honor my gifts and my light during this time? Where can I express gratitude from the heart? Spark. So when we're talking about that, I acknowledge, I feel like this is the acknowledgement of the spark of inspiration. We've talked a lot about that. I told you that that's what's happening in the full moon. So it makes sense that as we are coming out of that full moon energy and into the disseminating moon, you're acknowledging what you received, and now you're making it work for you. I feel like a lot of us are going to kind of rekindle old passions from a creative perspective. So, maybe something that you used to do as a kid, painting as a kid, or some kind of sport that you were involved in that you haven't gotten involved in for so long. It's just not been a part of your life. And now all of a sudden you're just feeling this call to rekindle that a little bit within yourself. Receiving opportunities or seeking out opportunities to take a class or sign up for that rec league or, whatever it might be. But I feel like you want to acknowledge the spark of inspiration. You want to answer the call because it's coming through for a reason. And what I keep hearing is this is the stuff that's going to actually recharge you and refill you. A lot of us, well, all of us, quite frankly, all of us from a collective perspective are really in the process of learning who we are as a collective together because the rug's been pulled out from under us. We're still picking up the pieces. We'll be picking up the pieces for a while, but there's an identity crisis. Who are we now as a result of all of this stuff that has gone down? So that spark is there to ignite your passions because when you're working in that flow, you're in that creative energy, it's a recharge, it's a reboot. It fills the gas tank. It's the fuel that lights your fire and floats your boat and keeps you going. And if you don't do it now, I feel like you're going to need it in the coming month, and then you're going to be mad that you didn't do it because now you're going to be behind the 8 ball, always playing catch up. So answer the call. Acknowledge the spark. Also, for some of you, I feel that it's a gentle message to acknowledge your strengths and maybe even to have to point your strengths out to other people who maybe are underestimating you. There may be a conversation around that. That's not for everyone, but I feel like that's for some specific people. So if that's for you, great. If not, just don't worry about it. Release it. Third quarter, this is happening on the 11th through the 14th of December. So the third quarter, I claim what is being completed in my life at this time. How can I connect to its release with conviction? So what are we claiming? The gentle gardener. Okay, so wow. Okay, so you're claiming the new birth. You're claiming the fact that you put a lot of work and effort and nurturing into those seeds that were planted and they grew. And it's time to really claim and own, just like what I was talking about with the spark for some of you. It's time to claim and own your strengths, your values, what you bring to the table. This is an invitation, I feel, as well, to recognize that a gardener's job is never truly done. The only way it's done is if you just decide you're no longer going to tend to the garden, then you just stop doing it and then it's going to just do its own thing, right? It's going to grow or not grow or, whatever. But aside from that, a gardener's job is never done because if you've harvested, now you have to till the soil. You've got to oxygenate the soil. You might even have to put different nutrients back into the soil so that the soil has time to regenerate. Then you're going to plant more seeds. And then when you plant those seeds and you put them in all the right places, then you've got weeks of watering it and making sure that there's enough, proper nutrition and maybe talking to the seeds and thinking about, what you're going to do with all of these things that are going to grow. And then when they actually do grow and they come to harvest, then there's, the work of that. And so it's just the cycle continues. So the gentle gardener says, understand that the cycle is always there. There's no rush. There's no have to this and that and the other thing. Take the approach of this is just the way that it is. And so I don't have to get worked up over it. I don't have to drive myself. I can take a gentle approach. And that gentle approach might mean a stronger harvest, a richer, fuller harvest. Recognize where you're not being gentle with yourself. Recognize where you are driving yourself, because when we drive, we can crack a lot of eggs. The thing that could, maybe just needed a little extra time or need a little extra support, you've stomped on it. You've just automatically assumed that it's not going to amount to anything, so you've given up on it. Don't give up on anything. The gentle gardener says it's all part of the cycle, and so I don't need to get worried about it. I just need to show up and do the things that I'm feeling called to do. Do the things that I know are going to work. And in the event that there's something that comes up and I have no idea how it's going to work and I'm feeling a little stuck with that, Go within, connect with nature, connect with source. Look at nature's patterns. Nature always finds a way, and it doesn't stress about it. It just allows things to unfold organically. I feel like that's what you kind of want to claim. Is I'm a part of a part of a bigger plan here, a bigger cycle of life, and I don't have to control everything to the tittle. In fact, maybe I need to let go of that illusion of control and just show up and say, how can I serve? I feel like that's really important. All right, now we're at our Balsamic moon. The Balsamic moon is happening on the 15th through to the 18th. This is I surrender. What energy can I lean into to fly free into this new version of me? What can I consider as I embrace this opportunity to know myself anew? Follow the leader. And P.S. and FYI, the leader is source. And it's exactly what I was just talking about with nature. Leaning into, we were talking about in Scorpio, and this whole cycle is about formulating the plan for the coming year. And now follow the leader is follow source. Follow the patterns and cycles of nature, because they are going to inform and educate the most successful outcome for you. Follow the yellow brick road. You don't have to reinvent the wheel today. Choose the path. You've created the plan. Now walk the path. I feel like when we're talking about that surrender piece and that surrender energy, I feel like all of us collectively are really going to be kind of feeling like we're still recovering. We're still grieving from the ricochet year that we have had. We are feeling hopeful. We are feeling like there is more of a direction that we're choosing or taking. But we're also still feeling. And there's exhaustion. We have had a year that has literally been, a little over a year actually, that has been nothing but one thing after another. And, the body can only take so much, the mind can only take so much. And yet here we are. We're still here. We're still resilient. We're still strong. We're still getting shit done. So the surrender piece comes into the surrendering to source, surrendering to the universe. Kind of like what I said before, how may I serve? I don't have to have all my ducks in a row. I don't have to have it all figured out. I've already got the plan. I just need to follow the plan. And I know that source was a big part of giving me that plan. And so that is all that I need to really focus on. I have to point out that it's a 40. 4 is foundational energy. 4 is also manifesting, but it's that foundation. It's that solid platform. And I feel like that's what's transpiring here, is surrender to the fact that there is a solid platform that you're standing on at this time. It's not something that you have to guess. We've been standing in the earthquake, right? Like 1 foot here, 1 foot there, completely off balance, never knowing, which way to go. How are we going to navigate? And we're trying to hold all the balls in the air, right? It's been that way this whole year. That card is coming through to say, you've got some steady ground now. Yeah, there are going to be some other bumps and, whatnot. But right now, gather your bearings. Get yourself together. You've got that solid ground right now. Take a breath. Follow what has been laid out. Don't make it extra hard on yourself. Interesting. Okay, so we've got one more, and this is the void or the dark moon. This is not part of the scientific aspect of the new moon cycle, but it is part of our energetic cycle. And this is happening on the 16th of December. And the void moon, the dark moon, is I release. What can I release control of or walk away from, knowing it has served its purpose? How can I remain open to the new and unknown in this process? Mountain. So first thing I'm drawn to is it's a number 6, which is harmony, balance, and alignment. I was just talking to you about stability, like solid ground. You can't get more solid and stable than a mountain. And I want to say what you're releasing is inflexibility. What you're releasing is obstacles that are in your way, obstacles that have caused you to not be able to live the life you've wanted to live, to move forward, to be able to see past the mountain and what's on the other side. That is what is being released. So this is something that we can absolutely celebrate. Can you imagine if you had X-ray vision and you could see through the mountain and onto the other side without having to walk the mountain? That'd be pretty cool. I feel like that's a little bit of what's transpiring here, because quite frankly, we've already done a lot of the work to walk the path. We don't always have to walk every mountain. It doesn't always have to be that way. So I feel that there's a little supernatural happening here, a little bit of that energetic that's happening, taking the load off. All right, guys, that is our new moon musings for the new moon happening on November 19th of 2025. As always, you guys know I'm sending you so much love and support. Just want to let you know, giving you a heads up, that we are moving into your year in preview season and your year in transformation. These are two services that I have been doing now. I think it's year 9 this year, might be year 10, I don't know. And this is where we take a real deep dive look into your upcoming year. I pull cards, one card for each month, and I just tune in and tell you what's going to happen. You know, we do discuss times, but we discuss a lot of concepts and actual things that are coming through that you're going to experience. It's a wild ride. It's really cool. You get to record it so you can watch it over and over again. It sells out really fast. So you want to take a look at that. I open my bookings up to the public on December 1st, and it goes from December 1st to January 31st. It's a 2-month window. Like I said, I book up really, really fast. So if you are really interested in doing it, click on the link below, book your session as soon as things open on December 1st so that you don't miss out. It's really a very cool experience. And with that, guys, I'm sending you so much love, and we will see you on the flip side. Transform well. For those of you who are new to me, here's a quick little breakdown on how to make this reading work for you. The new moon cycle works where it moves in 3.5 basically days throughout that 28-day cycle. So sometimes you're in a phase a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. It is not linear. But what I do is I give you dates connected to each of the phases of the new moon cycle so that you can come back to the video after you've watched the whole thing, you've taken it all in, you come back to that video for those particular times so that you understand, okay, I'm in, the waxing crescent phase, and what do I need to know about that? What is transpiring in my world right now? And this information is really helpful because it's giving me perspective on what it is I need to learn, or maybe I need to pull back, or maybe I need to lean in a little bit more. So use this. It's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. Use it throughout the month to support you.